Hello everyone, welcome to Community Distance Reiki. I'm Danielle Stimpson of Learn Reiki Philadelphia, and I'm so glad to have you here with me this evening. It is Sunday, February 26th, and 2023. Wanted to give you all a heads up if you didn't notice. I just started posting the Tarot for all 12 signs for the month of March. I've already put a couple up. They'll be going up through Wednesday. Let me go ahead and say hellos to everyone in just a moment. But of course, as always, if you're new here, welcome in. Go ahead and click that live chat button. Feel free to make any requests that you have for your personal healing, whether it's general or specific, and we'll go ahead and put it towards the beautiful crystal grid that we're all going to build together. At about the 1 hour point, I will briefly explain what Reiki is and then transition into the healing portion. So if you're watching this on the replay, hello from the past, you can go ahead and skip ahead to about the 1 hour point or where you see the lights begin to shift. If you are returning, it's wonderful to see you again. Thank you for being here. And if you want to learn more about me, live online Reiki certification courses, one-on-one sessions over a distance and in person in Philly, or readings over Zoom, go ahead and check out learnreikiphiladelphia.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And yes, the cats are going bonkers here. They know what time it is. They're snuggling up under the desk to soak up all the Reiki vibes. I hope that you're cozy wherever you are too. So let's go ahead in and say hi to everybody and start building this grid. Awesome. Welcome in Natalie, Korakar, Blue Sky, Jennifer Vatsa, Chris, Grace, I hope you're feeling better. Rose, welcome in. And Nurse Blair, it's wonderful to see you. Lots and lots and lots of love to you and your family. Thank you so much for your support. I know that you're watching in the background, and I appreciate you very, very much. And I think about your family often, so lots of love to all of you. And I definitely have some stuff to help support you too. So it looks like already, oh hey Vincent, Lisa, good to see you both too. So definitely have a few stones already picked out, and already I'm seeing the harmony in the requests. So let's dive on in. As usual, we have our copper spiral here. The copper helps to break up any energy blockages, helps get the energy flowing optimally. The spiral is equated with healing all the way back as farther than written history really goes. We have petrified wood, which I think really will help us through the month of March coming up, astrologically speaking. It's definitely a very interesting month, a lot of movement, a lot of things happening, not all of which are bad by any means, but this can help with change. Petrified wood was a living tree and had to die to be transformed into what it is now. So it can help through any kind of change, particularly change that can be challenging or kind of pushes us to our limits. And we also have a mirror here to deflect any less than great energy so that we can just have our own beautiful grid with all of our beautiful intentions in it. So let's see, I'm gonna just take back here. I redid a lot of my recording stuff on my side, so it'll just take me a minute to get back into the flow of where I'm clicking. So bear with me this evening. I know it'll sink in quickly. So let's see what we got. So yeah, lots of like cold, flu, not feeling great. Let's go ahead with some moss agate right off the bat. This is good for anything that in Chinese medicine would be described as having wind or spreading through the body quickly. Like it's kind of an invader, whether it's like cold, flu, bacterial infection, viral infection, other things, whatever it might be. This can help support the body to kind of get the upper hand and clear it out. It also helps with connection with nature, any kind of fears of the unknown, which can be really helpful as we step into this month of a lot of change. Also with inner child and higher self type healings. So bring in that moss agate, deeply spiritual and very, very physically healing. We also need some energy to come back for you all. And with that, also with Korakar's stepfather in mind, we have rutilated quartz. This helps with focusing the mind, enhancing the mind-body connection, but also with focusing any kind of healing to go exactly where it needs to go and do exactly what it needs to do. And as such, it's often seen as a gift to give someone who is going through their cancer journey. So rutilated quartz also helps with bolstering energy if we feel really depleted, or if we're trying to build up our energy store for something big. This can be really helpful. So we'll bring in rutilated quartz with all of the intention and love to support everybody who's struggling physically, to get the energy they need to support their body to do what it does. So glad you are here. Okay. Clear quartz, amethyst, citrine. Let's do some clear quartz, amethyst, and rose quartz together. I love that Korakar. So amethyst is one that is a really dynamic healer. This can help support us anytime we're doing any self-improvement type work or introspection at all. It helps to lighten the mood when we're being that introspective. Sometimes when we look at ourselves, we see the things we don't like and we need to work on them, and that's great, but sometimes we can be a little hard on ourselves. This helps with that. It also helps with taking personal responsibility, as does lapis as well helps with that, which also got requested, so I'll grab that now. And it can help with taking responsibility for ourselves and not being overly responsible for others. It's often linked with recovery, especially from any kind of substance. Especially this has a strong link to 12-step style recovery groups. And overall, it's just a beautiful stone for any kind of opening to spirituality, whether it's a new type of spirituality to you or you're just new to spirituality in general. It can be a really powerful stone. We have clear quartz, which can be and often is seen as an enhancer. It kind of like boosts the signal or turns things up to 11 for whatever your intention is. So if you are working with an intention, you can keep clear quartz near it. You can put it near the crystals you're using. You can also put it anywhere that is important to what you're trying to work on. So if you're working on something like writing, then I would put it near where you do your writing or where you keep your equipment to do your writing, if you're doing it with a journal or if you're doing it on a computer, etc. But if you are working with crystals and you're like, oh, all these crystals do all these things and I wish I had them all, but oh my gosh, money. Don't worry about it. Start with a couple of clear quartz crystals. They can hold the energy that you set for them. So you can use them as programming stones or in place of any crystal that you don't otherwise have. Or maybe that for geopolitical reasons, maybe you don't want to get it. So that is clear quartz. And we have rose quartz, which it's such a really consistent, stable, unconditional love energy. It makes it a lot easier to let go of anything else that we're ready to let go of. It's when we're holding on to emotional pain, a lot of times we don't want to let go of it because it's almost like, oh, what's going to come in place? Is it going to be even worse? This helps remind us that, the light at the end of the tunnel isn't always another train in that sense. And so it can be really helpful for us to replace what we're letting go of. So that's rose quartz. So let's see how to place these all together. Let's do rose quartz here and here. Clear quartz here and here. So awesome. So we're really getting off to a great start. Oh, and thank you for the compliment on my hair. I appreciate it. I have wavy hair and it does what it does one day to the next. I have like 2 hair products and I pretty much never use a blow dryer. So what you get is what you get. Let's see. Korakar also had the request, I believe, for lapis, carnelian, labradorite, black obsidian. Black obsidian is very helpful for difficult change, but also in a bigger way. This is one that can be super helpful when it comes to any kind of trauma, whether it's very acute, something that happened very recently, whether it's emotional trauma, physical trauma. Oftentimes they're both linked, but it can be very helpful to kind of process and move through that without ignoring it, without bypassing it, but really truly move through it. It can be very protective, and it's excellent for working with nervous pets. So we'll bring that in. It is a volcanic glass, as all obsidians are. So let's see, we'll put that on top of our amethyst. For lapis, like I said, this is one for personal responsibility, honesty, integrity. It's really the integrity stone. If you're looking to cultivate that within yourself, if you're looking to attract folks to work with who also are from a place of integrity, as my friend Janie would often say, the talk to do ratio is in alignment. It can also help with disorganization, and it's thought to positively impact the inner ear. So think of things like hearing loss and vertigo and balance. Yeah, it's also great for pain and inflammation. So this is lapis lazuli. Labradorite aids better sleep. It aids with clairvoyance, which is seeing, our intuitive sense, being able to visualize. It helps with anything that has to do with attention to detail too. So if you are, like, this is a stone I would give someone who is like a coder or something like that. Like, it's down to every little detail. This is one for finding errors, needle in a haystack type stuff. I keep some around if I'm doing my bookkeeping, because that is not my forte. But also great for things like workplace harmony and taking joy when we travel. So I'll bring this in. It's one for research and study as well. It's a great grad school stone. Carnelian helps with relationships in every way and every style of relationship, not just the romantic ones. It's also helpful for everything that we would think of the sacral chakra to be connected with, and it is the color orange. Sacral chakra is sexuality, sexual function and dysfunction, fertility. It's also the creative center. So if you're feeling blocked creatively, this is a beautiful stone to use. There's also a big connection with this helping with colds, allergies, upper respiratory stuff, and also wounds, like skin healing and wounds. So yeah, definitely a great one. Also, if you're looking to attract a spiritually aligned relationship, this can be a really good stone to like call on that mate. There we go. And I think, yeah, that was it. Thank you so much for being here as always, Korakar. Deeply appreciate you. Heart, welcome in. Good to see you. Oh, Jen, you picked up some beautiful tiger's eye, blue tiger's eye today. I love that stone. I recently got a bracelet with blue tiger eye, golden tiger eye. It's sitting on salt right now, and I cannot wait to wear it. Good to see you all. Let's see. Oh, and Lisa, your mom is having her pacemaker replaced tomorrow. Heart, electricity, and health. Absolutely. Good to hear that there's like proactive movement too on that front. Oh, good stuff. Lots and lots of great intentions. Okay. Heart, healing, happiness. Yeah, emotional heart, definitely. Rose quartz helps. Let's see. I know we often use rhodonite, and we may end up adding that in too, but I feel to use green onyx tonight. Green onyx often comes in a much lighter green, almost like a pistachio kind of color. You can even find like dinnerware sets made of it. It's really beautiful. This is a darker green onyx. This is natural undyed green onyx, and I'm lucky to have it. This is excellent for grief and sadness and moving through that. So it's great for heart healing. It's good for making decisions that are in alignment with our highest good, which is very much a theme of March for a lot of us. It's also great for emotional shutdown, moving on and moving forward despite emotional pain. So it can be deeply soothing for things like sadness, loneliness, things like that. So we'll bring in some green onyx. And yeah, lots of love to you, Grace. I hope you have a good week too. Jennifer, removing obstacles, road opening to love, peace, financial stability, moving out of the city. Absolutely. Let's do some tourmalinated quartz. This can help with moving as well as finding financial abundance, especially new ways of earning income. Good fortune, good luck, which I've seen a few of you mention as well. Healing emotional trauma, especially things like childhood stuff. This definitely has a connection to cardiac health as well. So Lisa, this is more aligned with like blockages and things like that, but still is really good. We'll use some aventurine for your mom's heart, which is actually connected more with the rhythms of the heart, which sounds more like what's going on with her. Yeah, this can really help with breaking up any kind of scar tissue. So like physical scar tissue, emotional scar tissue, also in general, just kind of energy that's stuck and you feel like you can't move forward. This is a beautiful stone for that. It also helps to ground and release nervous energy. And like, when is it a bad time for that? It's got black tourmaline running through it, which helps to kind of push away and dispel negative energy. So let's see. Oh, we've got little tiny baby mosquitoes in here. Sorry, you have to be evicted. My bad. Let's see. Okay, let's see. So this is tourmalinated quartz. There we go. We also have road opening to love, peace. I love that. I did see snowflake obsidian requested, so I'm going to bring that in now. This is one that can really help to ground overstimulation and bring about serenity, peace, and even hope after a lot of loss or something kind of tragic happening. This can help reestablish a sense of hope. It also helps with reorganizing thought patterns and like the patterns we get into, the ruts we get into, and we have a hard time kind of climbing out of them. Snowflake obsidian can really help us. It not only illuminates what's going on, but it helps us to go in and do the work. It's an obsidian. It's very much related to black obsidian. It's basically black obsidian with these sort of white colors in it. It's also just great for mind, body, spirit balance. And I believe I already said this, but grounding overstimulation can be really helpful. So that's snowflake obsidian. Let's go ahead and put those here and here. Yeah, and tourmalinated quartz can help with moving to the place that you're meant to move to as well. And I feel like picture jasper is a good one for financial stability, moving out of the city, and, moving through obstacles. Also removing obstacles. Tourmalinated quartz can have some help with there. Picture jasper, which also goes by desert jasper. This is one that can help us to envision future possibilities and potential, to see the big picture. And also it's great for like new ventures, starting a business, starting anything new really, or like taking the first steps in a new intention. Really helpful. Also helps with moving, especially moving abroad or moving to a different culture, even if that is in your same country. So yeah, and moving from one part of Philly to another is a different culture. I've done it. It absolutely is. So yeah, so we'll bring this out. So this is picture jasper, which also goes by desert jasper. And we've got some requests from Chris. I'm going to put some of those in and then work the rest in as we go through. Definitely help with channeling for sure. We have sapphire. What is different with green opal versus green onyx? Green opal, that's a great question. Oh, hey, Susan and Greg. Good to see you both. Green opal versus green onyx. So green opal is a bit like lighter, like green onyx is more for moving through like deep grief, deep sadness, especially if you are in such an emotional quagmire that you're like just lost for the world. It is very much like, I would equate it a lot with like bloodstone. It can be for deep heartbreak, and it's a deep healer, where it's not that green onyx isn't. It's just a little bit more lively. It helps to like lift the mood rather than just moving through darkness. It helps to like lift the mood a little bit. So I hope that helps. I don't work with black onyx or black opal too much. A lot of times what's sold as black opal is actually like gem silica. So it's like they're different things, but one turns into the other. It's dicey even in the jeweler's world of which is what. So yeah, I hope that helps. Hey Prudence, welcome back in. Good to see you. Let's see. So definitely want to see some Unakite coming in. We have for channeling, we have sapphire, we have chevron amethyst, Unakite. Let's do channeling. The intention for channeling for Chris. So sapphire, definitely helpful for connecting to spirit. It's a very potent stone of connecting with spirit and getting that deep connection to kind of like get the message and bring it through. And it can also help you express what you're experiencing to a querent or somebody you might be reading for in a way that they can make the most sense of and get the most use out of. So blue sapphire, it can be a very intense stone, so just make sure that you have a good grounding practice if you use it. I would work on that first before working with sapphire. But yeah, it's a very potent stone, very helpful. And also we have chevron amethyst, which not only, now it's different from the amethyst that we used in, it's a little hard to see here on these guys. I'm going to try to give you a good view. When we talk about chevron versus regular amethyst is, purple. We're used to seeing it. It may have some white in it. It may have some clear in it, but it's amethyst. When you see these peaks and valleys, these sort of zigzags that show up in white within the amethyst, that is chevron amethyst. These are double terminated, meaning that there's 2 points. Specifically, these are not naturally double terminated like Herkimer diamond is. These were cut into these shapes, as you can pretty clearly tell. This is a man-made shape. So it's not the shape of the stone, it's the shape within the stone that gives it the qualities of chevron amethyst. That is thought to help take our intentions, our thoughts, our requests, our manifestations, and bring them up to spirit, and then also allow us to be open to receiving messages and guidance about those things. So it can be very, very helpful if you're manifesting, channeling, working with spirit in any of those ways. Shamanic journeying, visionary work, clairvoyance, clairaudience, all of the above. It's really more for, I want to communicate with spirit. It's also great to bring about tolerance of others, and it's also thought to have a lot of properties for anything degenerative. So like whether it's a medical problem where like bones are degenerating, or like neurodegenerative where something happens over time, this is thought to be a beautiful gift for that. So this is Chevron Amethyst. Okay, there we go. For heart stuff, we have Unakite and Aventurine. Unakite, and I know Chris often requests help for quitting smoking, and I hope that's going well. This is a wonderful stone for that, Unakite. It's also great for anything having to do with women's health, whether it's hormonal, whether it's like if it's prepartum, postpartum, onset of menses, onset of menopause, metabolism issues that have to do with hormones especially, but it's also good with the heart rhythms, but especially fluids around the heart too. So Unakite. And Aventurine helps us expand our vision of who we are and what our potential is and what we can bring to the world. And it's also very much linked with heart rhythms. It's a great heart healer. It's a beautiful green. It's also by some thought to aid in fertility. But yeah, it expands our vision of our own potential. And definitely heart rhythms, also allergies, but also eye problems. So green Aventurine. So I hope your mom has a good procedure tomorrow. Lots of love to you both. We're pulling for you both. Hope everything goes well. There you go. Stones to feel safe. You got it. Yeah, let's do that. Actually, a few people asked for some protection and things too. And I know Heart had requested old frustration and anger from people in our lives that don't really see us. Yeah. Let's go red tiger eye. Dumortierite. So Dumortierite helps with pent-up anger as well as standing up for ourselves, really. It's also thought as one that helps to improve situations that seem hopeless. But this is standing up for yourself, also having patience. But a lot of times when we get like anger burning under the surface, and it just gets, especially if someone's been picking on us for a while, it's almost like they wind you up and then watch you go kind of thing. This helps to dissipate the anger so you can be a little bit more in control of things. So Dumortierite came up, but also definitely standing up for yourself when you have to. These were actually a gift from Jennifer Vatsa. You can check out her Etsy shop if you look for Belladonna Botanicals. I have a crystal shop at learnreikiphiladelphia.com. We both have very different collections and like shop all the Reiki charge crystals you can, right? But these are beautiful and I'm very grateful we have them. They were a gift from Jennifer. So let's bring these in. This can be very helpful. Let's see. Dumortierite. And we also have red tiger eye. I think this is going to be really helpful for prudence for sure. This is protective of whether it's like nasty spiritual work or whether it's like a toxic workplace type stuff, like kind of like what Prudence is describing. This is the stone that can help with things like bullying, being triangulated at work. That's where people chat behind your back and like split everybody apart. That's triangulation. This helps with that bullying, chatting behind your back, gaslighting, passive aggression and aggression. It really helps to kind of prevent that and keep it at bay. It's also helpful for any kind of psychic attack, but also calling in money very quickly. So that's red tiger eye. It's very, very protective. We have mahogany obsidian, which I think will help heart. This is one that we can often see as like it helps with releasing perfectionism. It also helps with feeling safe and secure in ourselves, like releasing any need, if there is one, of needing validation or approval through our work or through our deeds to someone who, like you said, just doesn't see it or isn't going to see it. They almost see an old version of you or a made up, distorted version of you. So in that way, it may help Prudence. But it helps you to let go of that and to trust yourself a little bit more. It also helps with meeting goals, strengthening your vitality, and skin healing, as well as releasing anger for sure. But this is one that also has an indication for supporting carpal tunnel. So if anybody is struggling with that, let me know. This might be helpful for you. But this is mahogany obsidian. So it's a third type of obsidian we have today. So it looks like we're keeping all the obsidians on something. This is going on the clear quartz. That's beautiful. So lots of love and support to all of you. Honey calcite, you got it. Honey calcite helps with optimism in challenging times. Helps attract colleagues and friends that are just in the best, highest good of you, but also it helps to balance the solar plexus and sacral chakra. So we talked about the sacral chakra and how we relate to others. This is one that helps us with that, but also our center of personal will, self-identity, and what we would like to do going forward. It helps to balance the two so that we're not overly giving of ourselves and we're not overly taking. It's like a balance point of, okay, who am I? What do I want? Okay, everybody else is over there. What do they want? And finding harmony between those two places. So, honey calcite. Something in my eye. Sorry about that. Also wanted to bring in some red jasper. This is a very empowering stone. It does help fight injustice and bullying. It's very grounding, good for the root and emotional support. It's great for emotional support too if you're going through something that's very long-term, like long-term health impacts too. But yeah, it's great for psychic and spiritual protection as well as workaday interpersonal stuff. It's also thought to help with fertility to some extent too, but it can be very grounding, empowering, help you feel stable and secure when other people's actions would have you not feeling that way. I think red jasper is like my number one most underrated stone. Okay. Illuminating your path, being open to the greatest healing good, self-love, self-respect, and self-esteem at the deepest levels. Absolutely. Amazonite, and I was going to put this out too for Nurse Blair. I'm going to bring in a little bit. This is great for self-respect and self-care and reminding yourself that as much as you take care of everyone else, you are important too, and to take that time to care for yourself whenever you possibly can, that you are worthy of that type of love and support that you unceasingly give others. This is also a stone that helps with calming, and it helps to support anyone that's going through things like it's thought to help things that are of the spine and spinal nerves. So if you're having back pain, this might be really helpful. So we've got this. Definitely great for self-respect and self-care. Excuse me one moment, guys. Okay, that's much better. Let's see. Let's see. I love the illuminating your path, greatest healing good, too. I want to bring in some chrysocolla around that. This is making decisions in alignment with our highest good. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. It's really encouraging of anyone that's trying to work on their spiritual, like, soul purpose. And also great for any kind of, like, if you need a new outlet for the difficult feelings that transition might bring up, it can help with new ways of being creative and of expressing ourselves. So this is chrysocolla. Moving in alignment with our highest good, making decisions in alignment with our highest good. Okay. I hope everything goes well for you. I know we had... Let's see, wealth blessings. Yeah, there was a lot of requests around wealth, and I did see the request for the merchant stone. I have that here. We have, this is cinnabar, and cinnabar is just these little red dots that we see within it. The rest is just other stone, and cinnabar is highly toxic. It is mercury, so be very careful with it, especially if you have pets or kids in the house. But this is going way, way back. This has been seen as the merchant stone, that it helps to attract customers to that, to any business that has something to sell or merchandise to provide. So cinnabar. We also have some citrine. Citrine can be very helpful for manifesting any kind of material or financial abundance, any kind of resource that we need. It's the more modern merchant stone, because when we found out how toxic cinnabar is, and people didn't really want to touch it, totally understandable. Mining it is toxic. Everything about it is. So we went more to another stone that had a similar quality, and that is citrine. And then, of course, citrine is harder to find. It's gotten more expensive. So now people have taken to baking amethyst. They actually will make it hot and give it bright light to make amethyst turn into this bright yellow versus this orangey brown. And yeah, it's like the abundant stones are in short supply. I guess it's been a thing ever since humanity, I guess. So let's go ahead and put some of the smaller pieces in the center of the grid. We also had some requests for psychopomp, which is clairvoyance, but also connection with our spirit guides and helpers in a very dynamic way where we can connect one-to-one. And definitely chevron amethyst was very helpful for that, as is iolite. Iolite is also helpful for weight loss and combating fever. And weight loss, if that's your intention, which I know someone did request that. Cora Carr did request that. It's also helpful for money management and better sleep. So iolite. Let's put that here and here. And I know that was requested by Chris as well. Improving your painting, writing, and illustration. Let's go ahead and bring in some sodalite. This can really help with expression. I actually love using sodalite together with carnelian for anyone who's feeling like artistically blocked or wants to improve that. Creativity is very much in the sacral chakra. Expression is very much in the throat. Sodalite is very much related to the throat. This helps us with public speaking, with dance, with movement, any kind of performance-based stuff. It's also really helpful for grounding impulses too. It's linked very much with homesickness and letting go of homesickness and feeling more home where you're at. And in general, just communication of all kinds. So sodalite. All the best to you, Korakar. Lots of love. Maria, good to see you. Yep, the ancient Greeks absolutely used cinnabar. Also in China, it was everywhere in China. It was very much used throughout China. You can, a lot of what you'll see now as they'll use like a red resin. A lot of the like red stone jewelry that you see them wearing, they've taken to sometimes using red coral, which I did see the requests about, but usually it'll just be resin now. But that all classically was cinnabar, was mercury. Yeah, so, and it was used in making hats and in tanning leather. You know the expression, mad as a hatter? That's what that comes from, mercury poisoning. We're like, wow, all the hatters go mad. Here it was the mercury that they were using. Yeah. Yep. It's kind of wild. I mean, how long ago were we using lead in stuff? I mean, the soil out back of my house in West Philly is super contaminated with lead because of all of the layers of lead paint on all of these old Victorian houses. So yeah. Yep. Oh, Maria, you're so right. This grid and everyone's intentions are completely aligned with yours today. Thank you, everyone, for the intentions and for bringing it to the grid. Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. Definitely the concept of communal chi is very strong here. And that's we all come together with the same or similar intentions. The greater that energy is magnified. And so just being here with an intention for healing absolutely helps everyone else. And thank you. Hey, Highland Love, I got your card finally. Thank you so much. There were stickers. I love stickers. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Request for red coral, highly protective of women, anti-misogyny stone. It helps women anywhere they happen to be, especially in the workplace. Anytime that a woman is relegated, admonished, discredited, this helps to give her that equal ground and protect her. Very, very strong protector of women. So we have red coral, which I'll place here. I also have, some of you might not be able to see that, I have this beautiful red and black coral necklace that was gifted to me. It was handmade for me by a friend's mother, which I thought was really sweet. The black coral is very protective as well. So I'm going to bring that in. So we've got the whole grid basically encircled in protection of women. Yes, the women in Iran need red coral, but also when we're shopping for coral, like this was gifted to me. This was, I think I purchased this long before I knew anything about crystals really. Or I was just starting to learn. Coral sometimes is like not so great for the environment. Not surprisingly. Sometimes it's like damaging to the reef. Laws have changed in many places because of that. So try to be as kind as you can when you're purchasing it. For example, the white coral I often use here, I actually found on the beach with my grandmother. So like it was kicked off of a coral reef in a storm. It was like very naturally shed. Most coral is sustainably harvested or it's just really old, but just putting it out there, like kind of look at where you're getting it from. But yeah, we do need some red coral. And remember, this is one of those instances where you can use clear quartz to stand in for red coral if you can't get it, or if you can't find a place to get it where you feel good about it. That can be a thing. The cats must recognize your voice. They are queued up by me waiting for the Reiki. Oh, oh. My cats know too. It's like I've been recording all day, and now is when they were like, oh, we know it's coming soon. We'll hang out. No, the red coral is from coral, like a coral reef. But usually it's taken from dead reefs, or it's like it shows up on a beach after a storm, which a lot of coral does. It's just naturally shed. It's only when, it's harvested inappropriately, which, like I said, a lot of governments have gotten much more stringent on that because it has a huge impact on the environment for sure. Yeah, but like I said, you can definitely use clear quartz in its place if you're not sure of where you're getting it from. But yeah, we could all use some red coral for sure. Let's see. There we go. So for Nurse Blair, something that would be supportive. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. I already talked about one, and I was thinking of you when I put it down. There's also going to be, let's see. I want to bring in some bloodstone too. Green onyx can be really helpful, but bloodstone is great for, it's kind of like the emotional stuff hits the fan stone. It's great for emotional perseverance and stamina. So long-term kind of things. It also helps for those of you who might be struggling with self-doubt or a racing mind when you meditate. Bloodstone can be really helpful for that. It also goes by the name heliotrope, but it definitely helps to lift despair. And anytime that you just feel like your root chakra is impacted by how emotionally distraught you are, this can be a really helpful stone. Anytime it's a long-term transition through something like long-term illness, big health stuff, I recommend this sometimes for folks who are going through lengthy divorces. This can be really helpful for that stamina to like go the course. So let's bring that in. Let's see, blue kyanite, pyrite, and moonstone for Chris. Kyanite is excellent for radical self-acceptance, loving yourself exactly as you are and how you are. It's also helpful for understanding any of the spiritual messages we get. And it's thought to help support folks who are struggling with any kind of brain impact, like neurological impact that's impacting their ability to speak or to move. So that's blue kyanite. It's so pretty. Pyrite is another one that helps bring about financial abundance. Fool's gold brings the real gold for sure. This is a stone that can also help with opening your intuition while also asking for protection. It can be really hard, especially when folks first open up to intuition. Like, okay, I want to be open, but not too open. And how do I do that without sending a mixed message? Pyrite is very helpful there. It's also thought to have impact on improved memory. So if you're struggling with memory issues, pyrite can be helpful. And fever. We've got Moonstone, helps with accepting divine timing, as well as connection to the divine. So that's the divine feminine, also ancient wisdom. This is wonderful for anyone that does any kind of lunar-based energy work or works with the full moons. This is a beautiful stone for that. It also helps to attract love. It's very protective when you're traveling, and it can help us to become aware of and release patterns that just aren't helping us. So let's go ahead and bring that in. That's Moonstone. Moonstone can look so many different ways. Moonstone, labradorite, rainbow moonstone, they're very much all related. Rainbow moonstone is actually white labradorite. Rainbow moonstone is more of like a recent trade name. But they're all really, really beautiful. What else did we miss here? We have rutilated. Let's bring in some Herkimer, some peridot. Herkimer, peridot, and aragonite. I love pyrite too. So aragonite is a type of calcite that is actually, it comes from the remains of mollusks, and it's a brownish color, and it's related to the root chakra and the earth star chakra, which is the chakra beneath our root that helps us to act on our soul's purpose and like do the things that are in alignment with our future. That's the brown in this specimen. The blue is Caribbean blue calcite, which is related to the opposite end of the spectrum, the crown and the soul star chakra, which is like our spiritual north star. It's our connection to spirit. It's like almost like our, hey, here's what you can envision as your potential, and the people, places, things to connect with to envision potential and your soul's mission. And when these two are in alignment, the earth star and the soul chakra, or the earth star and the soul star chakra, you can really make a lot of progress on your path. It also helps align all of the energy centers between it, including the kundalini, which lays dormant at the base of the spine. It helps with that, getting that to flow more evenly and more easily. So we'll bring this in. We have, oops, just enough room, I think. Maybe not. Let's do this. There we go, we made enough room. Peridot is great for breaking up bad habits and cycles that are just kind of holding us back. And it also helps support those friendships that are really supportive of us when we are our best selves. So it helps with that. It's also one that aids with leadership, friendship, fidelity, prosperity of all kinds. It's definitely got a connection to aiding folks with depression, as well as anyone who's looking to either stop weight gain or to try to lose weight. This can really help with that. It's also got connections to the digestive tract. So if you have any digestive issues, this might be helpful. So peridot is a very, very useful stone. We're going to go ahead and sprinkle some of that around. Herkimer diamond. I always think of this. I always think of Greg and Susan whenever we work with chevron amethyst or Herkimer. And this helps with manifesting as well. Anytime that we're asking the universe for something and we want to kind of put it out there that like, universe, like this or better, or and more importantly, I want whatever I'm asking for to show up in a way that benefits as many as possible and everyone that this touches. So the people, places, things that are impacted by what I'm asking for, that I get the best version of that and that everyone else gets impacted positively by it. It also helps with being in the present moment, which is so important anytime we're asking for something new. as well as just energy balancing. It aids metabolism. It opens the intuition. It's a really lovely stone, and we use it often here. So where shall we place this? Ooh, looks like I shed a little bit. Let's place this here and here. Let me just make sure I got everybody. The last one, Caribbean blue calcite. So it's I'm just gonna, pardon my loud typing. I just typed it in the chat for you. If you search for it online, the Caribbean blue calcite and aragonite, and they may list aragonite first, the blue a lot of times won't be quite so translucent as what I just showed. It may be more of like a bright kind of very pale aqua, but no light passing through it, along with the streaks of brown or like a sandy brown. It's the same stone. It can just look a little bit different at different times. So yeah, Caribbean blue calcite and aragonite. There's a bunch of it being mined right now. I'm not sure where, but there's a lot of it being mined right now. So it's pretty easy to find if you look for it online. I don't have any in my shop though. So let's see. Let me just take a quick peek through, make sure I got, yeah. Sorry if you're getting a little bit of buffering.